I was in Amsterdam and I visited the house, and it was my first time. In the museum gift shop, they're selling models and diaries, and they are somehow like a replica of the house and a replica of the original starting point for the whole Anne Frank story, which is the diary. A lot of people ask me, they say, do you think it's good or bad that they make this house? And for me, I say, let's think about first, why is it there? Why would they make this? And I think the Anne Frank house realizes that the memory of Anne Frank, it's not a monument. Anne Frank exists as a memory because we remember her. And as we die, the next generation has to remember her. So they have to exist in every time. And in this time, we realize it's about participation, it's about democracy, but it's also about capitalism. One of the aims of this work was that the whole experience was very slick and very surface-based. I wanted you to feel that the model, the product, this shiny cardboard toy or historical kit was blown up and just arrived almost as if on a truck from China. To make something look that untouched by a human hand, it requires extreme craftsmanship. And what I find fascinating is to think that this house was produced in the Bregenzer Wald, in this region which is renowned for craftsmanship, and that there's almost an ethical idea of this local production in this idea which is essentially about transnationalism. It's a house transplanted from one place to another, which ethically we think might not be good. So even in the production of the house, the kind of philosophy is built into the making. I think when you walk into the first floor of my exhibition, you're confronted, of course, with this giant warehouse of the Anne Frank house, a former production space where the Opekta company, the workers, many of whom didn't know the Frank family were hiding, were milling spices and making pectin for jams. I wanted to use the warehouse space as a place to talk about production, contemporary production and materiality and labour. But to take away sort of any historical forms of production and talk about new technologies, not simply as their material, but their human consequences. There are everyday items, toothbrushes, a razor, a life jacket, from a store in Britain, a boutique store. It's a boutique shop experience in which you go in and you see a beautiful white plinth. You choose these objects, these symbols, almost like art, lying there. And when you leave with nothing, you know that the object that you bought is given to a refugee. But it's not nothing, you leave with a feeling. The shop is called Choose Love. It's a marketing for love, which is the thing that we think we don't have enough of. Or they think we don't have enough of. with the refugees, it's our picture of them. We picture the things they need and the person who gets it. But they don't know who's buying it for them, they just receive the material. It's a world that is created by nobody, for everybody, rich and poor. The second floor in which the secret annex is the floor that deals with the human emotions, feelings, faces, bodies, and it deals with art and literature and the things that we think are the more noble parts of humanity. In the Anne Frank room, we kind of come to a real crux of all of these questions, because we see the original wallpaper that Anne Frank put on her bedroom wall, which were images of celebrities and the royal family and artworks. But I wanted to think about perhaps an updated version, you know, who would she be looking up to now, but also use contemporary images of people who had visited the house, celebrities. The Anne Frank house is a visitor attraction, it's a historic site, but for celebrities it's a fantastic marketing tool to present a different side of themselves, a humble side, a human side. There's ways to visit the Anne Frank house, and the jury of the world and the internet are often the ones that decide its success or failure. And two examples are, of course, Justin Bieber, who had who had the worst visit to the Anne Frank house you could imagine in terms of media terms. He wrote in the guest book, "She was a great girl. I hope she would have been a believer," a fan of Justin Bieber. And the world went crazy when this went online. On the other hand, we have Beyoncé, who visited the Anne Frank house, and her visit was praised hugely in the media. She was incredibly humble. She was taking photos almost on the floor, always underneath images of Anne Frank. And she, for that visit, wore a Topshop blue uniform. Why Topshop? It's something that the masses can buy as well. You don't wear Givenchy when you visit the Anne Frank house, and Beyoncé knows that very well. And everybody praised this visit, and what was interesting is within an hour after the first Instagram post, that outfit was sold out internationally. This exhibition is a mirror. I don't know what any of these objects mean. They confuse me, they move me, they hurt me, they excite me, but they all exist. And because they all exist, there's a truth to them. And I just want to present that to you. I just want to lay it out. And I want you, like an archaeologist, to walk around and experience it. Because half of the work happens here, in the exhibition, and half of the work will happen for you when you leave. Because the outside world is in this house, but this house is also in the outside world.